What if this whole thing about like Morgan not wanting to be on camera was maybe a ruse to dump Kyle?
Oh, because she knew Kyle would never choose anything over the show.
Well, either that or maybe it was just like, this was a fun fling. You're not in love with me. This is just new to you. Well, because I think the whole thing of like not wanting to be on camera and wanting to be private was a bunch of bullshit. Kyle had a lot more to lose than Morgan did.
I wonder if Kyle's feeling used. I mean, Kyle platformed her. Those shopping trips, we should go back and like just Google Getty Image or whatever backgrid it to see all, because those were expensive gifts she was buying her. Also, maybe Kyle was a conquest for Morgan.
That's another thing that I think. Like I kind of didn't want to be that mean, but like, you know what? I'm going to get this rich married woman.
Maybe it was a fetish or whatever, a turn on.
We gonna stir it up and do things our way. So if you wanna move, get out of our way.
Hey, hey.
Or ho ho ho. It's Christmas time. Christmas week, at least.
Merry Christmas. Home Alone. I would say just about to be like Home Alone. Just start listing Christmas things.
Yep. So many Christmas movies. Would say Happy Hanukkah, but Hanukkah's over now. So
yeah, I'm a little bad with that. I didn't light a menorah or anything. I just kind of.
I know we didn't say Happy Hanukkah last week at all on any of the shows. I was like, wait a minute, you should have been on top of that one, not me. So
yeah, I let that one slip through my fingers. I was too busy in the whirlwind of Christmas parties, holiday parties to think about it.
You really were.
And everyone at those are blonde and blue eyed, so I just kind of want my.
You were in the Aryan hostel, so. Oh man. Well, we're back on Beverly Hills, which this, I don't think we didn't figure out we're going to be back whenever new episodes are back. So we're going to be back.
Yeah, this next week, nothing's airing, obviously, for the holidays. Vanderpump Rules, Beverly Hills. So we'll be back when they are.
Yep, exactly. So everybody enjoy yourselves. Feel free to watch or listen to old episodes. Send us, comments, likes, shares, subscribes, give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Definitely helps. Share us with your friends. Be like, you could be drunk with your family. You'd be like, you know what? You should listen to this podcast. They'll tell you everything that you think you know Beverly Hills. You know nothing about Beverly Hills. This guy knows everything about Beverly Hills.
And then your mean aunt and uncle will question what you're doing with your life. But that's another no.
Like, when were they not going to question what you're doing with your life? I mean, hello. It's like every boomer out there. Yeah. Well,
shall we bounce? Sorry, guys, I have a little bit of a cold, so I'm not my sharpest. But shall we dive in? That's the word. Bounce means to leave. Like, I'm ready to bounce.
Yeah, well, we should dive in because honestly, what's happening at the beginning of this episode, or for like most of this episode, is what most single people just dread when it comes to the holidays, is talking about their relationship status and being set up on dates. And Boz decided to have a matchmaking speed dating event for her fellow castmates, all of them except for Amanda.
Yeah. The ones I was trying to think, because this is really a show about divorce. I mean, there are very, very few. And I was like, well, Amanda's married now, but no, she's engaged. So Jennifer Tilly has a boyfriend. Mm-hmm. Kathy obviously has Rick, and they're just friends of. Mm-hmm. So literally, yeah, a lot of singles.
Exactly. And I mean,
I would have.
Technically, Boz was single. She wasn't engaged yet, but she was with Keeley.
True. I was going to say, though, if I needed to be set up by one of the cast members here, I would have Kathy do the party. Yeah. Like, Kathy's Rolodex. I mean, come on. You could you could be Mrs. Forbes list with her connections.
You know, Bose did get a very eclectic group of men together. Now, I mean, I do question, I'm like, how many of them are actual friends of Bose's and how many were casting? I do kind of wonder.
We were watching and we both recognized guys that we've known from that group.
I was like, yeah. Let me go with the one that I know first, and then because I think we have more to say about the one that you know. The one that I recognized was Ben Glebe. He's a comedian, and I recognized him because I've recognized him from other shows. Also, like more than like a decade ago, a friend of mine wanted to set me up with him, and I said, no, I don't date comedians. like I don't date comedians. I don't date other actors. I don't date musicians. Like, not interested. And then not long after, maybe a year or two after that, I then waited on him at South Beverly Grill while he was on a date. And it was just more like reinforced the fact that I was glad that I did not go out with him. Although that date seemed to be going rather well. They got pretty drunk. You know, I want to say they probably had a good time after they left the South Beverly Grill.
Were you jealous? Did you wish you could have been the chosen one and that good? This guy looked like a real catch.
Do I seem jealous to you? No. No.
It
Oh
must have
darn,
been
I missed my mark to like be with a comedian who are basically like the baseball players of, you know, entertainment. Like, ew. No. Anyway, so that's the one that I knew. I'm not saying that he's a bad guy or anything like that. It's just
comedians are comedians. I mean, look, if people are there, I always say there's like darkness behind that.
Yes, always.
They're complicated, very complicated,
very insecure, and they're also like they're traveling all the time, and they're in a different city all the time, and there are these things that we call chuckle fuckers. It doesn't matter how ugly or disgusting or, you know, rude or crude or whatever that a male comedian is, a woman will fuck him. So doesn't matter. So it's like, I don't trust him. Kind of like a baseball player. Don't trust him. So yeah. Anyway, let's talk about the one that you know, because I had very strong opinions about this man. And then you're like, I know him. And I was like, what? I was like, oh, because I'm going to go off on this guy.
Yeah, this was weird. So the guy, the attorney, Matt.
The young attorney.
Yeah. Yeah. First, I saw his face before they said Matt attorney. And I was like, is that Matt Belinsky? I don't know why. I'm not close. Like I just recognized him immediately before they even said the name. Like he followed me on Twitter, like all kinds of things. And yeah. So he is 44. So you guys know he's an attorney. And I was just like, he's like friends with some of these people's kids. Or his younger brother is friend. He's like he was not an age appropriate selection. When he sat down with Kyle, I was like, I think he's friends with like Farrah. Like,
oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Mrs. Umansky, are you trying to seduce me? Like The Graduate. So
well,
yeah.
He's only a couple years younger than Dorit and Bose, because Dorit and Bose are a year older than me, so then he's only like 3 or 4 years younger than them. And so like but you have an age range there, you know, you have an age range. So yeah, it's like, you know, they're just picking. I wrote the hot dark-haired lawyer Matt is such an, in all caps, douche. Like, that's what I wrote. We'll go into it more later, but yeah, like I was like, you know him,
yeah,
because you know his brother, and then you know both of them, but his brother is more your
I'm not
age.
like I'm aware. I was aware. I was like, when I saw it, I was like, is that guy?
Is that guy? That guy.
I get around town. But it's like for context, I think his brother is friends with like Dorothy Wang and stuff. So I mean, they're on the they're like on the fringes of this whole Beverly Hills reality world as well. So I was like, yeah, he for sure like probably knows Farrah, like, and he's sitting down having like singles chat. What? Hey, Farrah's mom. What are you looking for in a partner?
Basically, Kyle couldn't get away from her family at all, because then there was the real estate guy, Chase, who'd done deals with Mo. So it's like she just couldn't get away from it. Period.
Yeah.
Period. Let's go back to the ladies. They were all wearing black except for Bose. That was hilarious. I did find it extremely interesting though that Dorit was so ready to flirt, but Kyle and Erica like ran away.
It's interesting seeing Erica like admit, like, she's like, Erica Jane is a persona. I am not Erica Jane. Like, I'm actually shy and awkward. It's like I'm fine naked on stage, but in real life I'm a little.
I identify a lot with that part of Erica. Actually, like, this is the thing, like, I can go hard on Erica a lot, but I also identify with her a lot in that sense of like when you're a performer, there's always like two different people. There's the performer you, and then there's the real you. And the real you like to protect, and the performer you is like, oh, that person is out there. But like, yeah. So like, I wasn't surprised that she, and you've seen it too. Like, when you and I have gone to like events and stuff, I'm kind of awkward. Like, I'm kind of like, I'm fine sitting in the corner and like doing whatever. And like, I'm not necessarily going up to people that I don't know and having a conversation with them.
Yeah.
So
I put on a persona for these events. Like, I usually park like a block or two away, stop, smoke a cig, do the whole like, what's the end of that movie? What's that movie? Boogie Nights. You're a star. You're a star. Who the hell are they?
At least you keep your pants on.
Yeah. And I walk right in and pretend I'm an outgoing person.
Oh my gosh. I was pleasantly surprised. Dorit is a good flirt. She is a good flirt, and not in this super obvious way either. She like, just like she said, it really is in the eyes and like kind of like these like subtle movements. Like, she is a good flirt, and
I enjoyed her confessional where she's talking about how she flirts and what she does, because it took me right back to do you remember when Luann on New York was giving Bethany her tips for flirting? Except Dorit's good. Luann's were so like, and then you lean in,
yeah,
and then you whisper. It was so like,
I mean,
like a 1940s like Joan Crawford movie. Like,
yeah, Luann and Ramona are very like obvious, very very much like, are you trying to seduce me, Mrs. Robinson type, whereas Dorit is more subtle, yet at the same time definitely gets a reaction from the men, for sure. Although apparently the men liked Erica too, and Sutton, because Sutton turned on her like little southern charm there.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Something that caught me, and this was advice that Kyle contradicted her own advice from another season with this dating thing, because she shows up in a $36,000 Kelly bag, Crocodile Hermes Kelly. And I remember, and they flash back to one of Sutton's blind dates where she was wearing a Birkin and very good jewelry. And Kyle stopped by or something to kind of prep her. And she's like, you don't want to look too rich for the man, because then he'll think you don't need him and they'll be intimidated. And then Kyle walks in with like one of the most coveted, expensive purses on earth. And I'm like, I mean, it's smart to be forward in the sense like, this is the lifestyle to which I am accustomed. But I mean, she literally told Sutton, don't act so rich.
Exactly. Hypocrites all around, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go into the dating part, because when it begins, okay, just because I have it written first, that Matt is a douche. And this is what I wrote down. I was like, he's that guy who's contrarian just to be contrarian. Like he's a basic bitch who thinks that like his choices, because when he's talking to Rachel and is like about music, he's like, I don't know, like my favorite music is like Led Zeppelin and the Rolling Stones, and he thinks that's like groundbreaking and unique. And it's like, oh, well, what, all white women love Coldplay, and I don't date LA girls because I don't date in LA because girls here are pretty bad. I was like, guess what, honey, you're the problem. Like Erica's reaction was completely right. Like she had him pegged as basically a misogynist. Like, and he's trying to act like he's better than everybody. And I'm like, honey, you're single here at a dating event, and everything that you do is so basic. You're so not interesting. Like it'd be one thing if you're like, I like the Rolling Stones because I'm a big fan of the way that I love Keith Richards and his whole like drug addict, he could play the guitar so well while he was still on drugs, and they did blah, 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 blah. No, you're just generic. You're just generic. I mean, at least Coldplay, they do bangers. They basically are like the heroine of pop music. Like they just know how to make earworms. So that's what I'm going to say. But anyway.
I think he wanted to be like, I'm different from people my age. I'm sure. And he does like political commentary. And so I ended up last night as I was watching, and I was like, part of me too, because, I have a little bit of a sketchy past with parties and drinking. I was like, okay, how do I know the guy? What bridges have I burned? Like, I was just like, was there any? So I went to his Instagram to see like, he's like political commentary, and he doesn't look like a lot of fun.
No,
let me tell you, he does not look like a lot of fun.
No, he just seems like that guy who's always going to contradict whatever you say, just to like do that. Like he's never gonna, even if he agrees with you, he's not gonna agree with you. And I don't like that. And that's not across the board with lawyers in general. Like obviously, as we could tell with the Rick lawyer, like he seemed very affable and enjoyable to be around. So like that Matt guy's just a douche. I don't like him. But and the Comic-Con guy, he was sweet, but no, I'm sorry. Like, no.
Yeah, I don't know where these people came from. I'm trying to think. Like, you're right. Like, I don't know if they're really Boz's friends or if they put something out there or what.
I feel like it's probably a combination, because I did feel, and granted, this could be, just whatever, but she seemed to maybe know Ben. Like they seem to have like a comfortability around each other, but I don't know. That could just be, sometimes people just click kind of easily. The Australian motivational speaker, Sebastian, everybody liked him very easily. And I was like, okay. I mean, yeah, he's like cute, but I was like, all right. Although sorry, I'm just going to go off real quick. The one thing about Dorit did, because when he was like, what side of town do you live on? And she's like, I don't know what side of town I live on. And she's like, what side of town are we on right now? I freaking hate it. It's a big pet peeve of mine. I was like, this girl doesn't know what side of town she's on or what she lives on, but she knows what a main road is. I was like, either you're playing this up because you're just doing the whole thing of like, let me like not know something, or pretend to not know something so a man can teach me something, because men like to teach women things, whatever. Like she could be doing that, to make them feel superior. Or if she doesn't know, I really hate it when people don't know directions. Now, Grant, I know that I'm a weirdo and I'm like a homing pigeon, and that I know directions very well, but it's like a safety issue. Like you should know where you live. You should know what area of town you live in. You should know how to get around your fucking town. Well, you know what I mean?
Well, I'm not too far off from Dorit as far as that.
Got issues with you, dude.
And I think Dorit and I kind of live in the similar bubble I talk about. So I got it. But yeah, here's my thing practically. So they were at Boz's, and Boz lives in Hancock Park, which like I mean I don't know those definitions either, but I'm not oblivious. It's just I hear people say like the East Side.
Mm-hmm.
I think that means like Los Feliz or Silver Lake or something.
I mean, that's
That-
what I would consider the East Side
yeah.
too. Like I would say Larchmont is more like central LA.
Yeah, so and then like Beverly Hills is like, and then they say the West Side. And the
Mhm.
West Side is like Santa Monica, the Palisades, Brentwood. I guess
Yeah.
it goes by the freeway.
Yeah.
So Beverly, like, no, I get if she was just talking about the literal like definition, the boundaries of what side, I don't know those either.
Mhm.
But yeah, if she was just pretending to be like, I don't know where I am, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, okay, Cher Horowitz. It was
Yeah.
very Cher Horowitz.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Where are you, Sun Valley?
20 minutes away. I don't know. I'm 20 minutes away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, he must not watch the show. Points for that.
Yeah.
If they've never like if he had to ask where she's from. First of all, as fans, we all know like 90% live in Encino in the Valley.
Right.
Number two, though, well, yeah.
Well, granted, even if you go on a first date with somebody and you've already met them out or something, or you meet them on Hinge or Bumble or something, you're still gonna Google them, but you're still gonna act like you don't know that stuff about them. So he probably knew. Like I would certainly, well, I don't know. I think it's 50-50 with most of these guys, whether they decided to take the time to look up any of these women in general.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And they probably don't want to look like gold digger if he just said straight up, "Oh, do you live in Beverly Hills? Like I'm aware of the show and I'm aware of the money." So you don't say something like that. So I guess he found a way to sidestep it, but
yeah.
Our sweet little Dorit from the 818 did not
No, I think it's just easier to say, what area of town do you live in? Like, and she could just say, I live in the Valley. What area of the Valley do you live in? Encino. Yeah. Perfect. That's all you need to say. Exactly. Because anyway, I think we should just leave the men. The men leave.
Yeah. The men. It's where it gets into is where the women sit together in their separate groups and okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, basically, Kyle admits that she wants to get married again, that she's not actively looking, and Erica pulls Dorit inside and Sutton joins them. So you've got Erica, Dorit, and Sutton having a conversation, and then Boz and Kyle and Rachel Rachel's not really that into it in having their own conversation. But
Erica, Dorit, and Sutton. Yeah, so the kids went to Florida. That's good. The one thing Sutton did give her advice to, I didn't even think of this. She told her basically act calm, calm. Use this time actually away from the kids to recharge and relax because PK is going to use your mental state against you when he's fighting custody, which makes us wonder what went down between Sutton and Christian.
Yeah. I mean, I do think like Sutton and Erica are giving her very good advice. And Sutton's giving her advice that she tried to give Dorit last year, but Dorit was not hearing it. And also Sutton really wasn't telling her in a very good way or wasn't picking really good times. So I do think like Sutton has reevaluated herself and her tone and picking the right moments and like everything like that. So I think that's like really good, because Dorit has a lot to learn from most of these women because most of them have been through a divorce.
Yeah. I think this was like Sutton Dorit even said she's warmer to Sutton now with this. I think last season Sutton was coming from a place that really even if her advice was good, her tone and approach, her intentions weren't. And she was like basically like, "Oh, little broken Dorit, you should listen to me and my big fancy life." It was very patronizing.
Yeah.
Very like with the whole fight with someone with a wallet to match, that kind of a thing. This time it sounded like she was just like girlfriend to girlfriend, mom to mom. Yeah. So her approach was different because I think people get creeped out when Sutton tries to be too helpful. Like, do you
Mm-hmm.
remember with Erica when she was
Mm-hmm.
going through, and Sutton's like, if you need me to loan you any money, and it's kind of like, okay, creeper, like,
Yeah. Yeah. I did, because also, Sutton and Erica are getting along better. And I'm having this moment of like feeling like a traitor to my Sagittarius sister Garcelle of like maybe, that yeah, with Garcelle gone, that Sutton is able to her relationships with these women just change,
mm-hmm,
and there's just a difference there of the history that Garcelle has with Erica and Dorit no longer comes in between the
mm-hmm.
relationship with Sutton and Dorit and Erica. And I don't know how to feel about that, but at the same time, this is just a television show, and I'm going with that. I'm not personally friends with any of these people, but I can still feel that Sutton stabbed Garcelle in the back, and I still like Garcelle a lot. Um, but I also feel, in that same vein, that the questions that Bose was asking Kyle are very similar and in the same vein of like questions that Garcelle would ask Kyle or other cast members, but they seem to take it better from Bose than they did from Garcelle.
Mm-hmm. Chuck E. Cheese, last season, Chuck E. Cheese, Erica's pizza party,
Mm-hmm.
when Garcelle was asking her about Morgan.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's basically the same thing. It's just that like not Sun, Garcelle is more direct about it. Whereas like, Bose, kind of just circles it a bit. But then you've got Kyle being like, is annoyed, saying like, hey, you're just dancing around this, why don't you ask what you really want to ask,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like, but Kyle, you're unhappy either way. It's like you don't want somebody directly asking you, but then you're annoyed when somebody's like dancing around and acting like they don't know. Oh, I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretending like I don't know that you were in a relationship for a year with Morgan. You don't get to decide like, oh, it's just more okay, more palatable because it comes from Bose. I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe Bose is a different approach too, or well, they have a different dynamic.
They do.
You see Bose is trying to befriend Kyle, where I think Kyle and Garcelle always just kind of were at a standstill where they were not enemies. I don't ever remember them truly, but they there wasn't a big spark between them, a big connection. So it's kind of like, why are you the one? If like Erica asked Kyle, and I think it would have been different. And I think Bose is like clearly trying to suck up to Kyle.
Oh yeah,
which is good. It softens her a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe that's why she's taking it differently.
I think it's funny because I think that Bose is trying to suck up to Kyle, but I also think that Kyle looks up to Bose a little bit more because Bose was not an actor as well. Bose was, was a C-level executive at many tech companies and Fortune 100 companies, whereas Garcelle was just an actor and a producer, was kind of on the same level as Kyle in that way. So I think that Kyle sort of felt a little superior to Garcelle, whereas she feels a little inferior to Bose. So there's that. So so I think there's those power dynamics at play too. That's just my opinion at this moment. It can change.
I did think, and I like Bose a lot, but this is where I came up with that like sucking up to her. I was like, it's a little strong because you could tell she really wants this personal friendship with Kyle. And she's saying in her confessionals, like, are we friends or are we not? And I'm like, I hate to call her out, but I'm like, you did just meet her last year on the show. So acting like your sisters and soulmates gave me a little bit of like Dana Wilkie.
Yeah.
We're ride or dies till the end, Kyle.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I really know you. But I think at least she's coming from I'm trying to think why there was a difference between Kyle's reaction between Garcelle and Bose asking the same questions. It's clear Bose is trying to ingratiate herself to Kyle. So I think it makes Kyle take it better.
Probably. I would agree with that. When Kyle was talking about that basically her relationship with Morgan and saying that it's complicated and that she didn't choose to not be in love. Okay, this is where I wonder. This theory another friend brought to me, and I was like, oh, like what if this whole thing about like Morgan not wanting to be on camera, I mean, is kind of true, but then also was maybe a ruse to dump Kyle.
Oh, because she knew Kyle would never choose anything over the show.
Or, well, either that, or maybe it was just like, this was a fun fling for Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
But it became, but because, and then, I've had friends who, when they have come out of the closet, they've gotten into relationships, and it's been very intense and very fast. And then all of a sudden, that person who they had that first gay relationship with dumps them very unceremoniously. And it was because that person was like, you're just too much. Like, you're a newbie. You're not in love with me. This is just new to you. This is a new relationship. It's a new style of relationship. And you need to go off and like be gay, be bisexual, be pansexual. You're just getting out of a relationship. You're just coming out of the closet. Like, you need to go explore. I'm not your end all be all right now. And because it's a lot of pressure on that person, or sometimes that person is manipulative and was like, hey, whatever. It goes whatever way. But like, it could have just been like, hey, I don't want to be responsible for your marriage breaking up and like all of these things. And this is too much for me to handle. Because I think the whole thing of like not wanting to be on camera and wanting to be private is a bunch of bullshit. Because she's a private figure. She's out already. She's a public figure. She's out already. All of these things, like, come the fuck on. You already put yourself on camera on this show. Shut the fuck up.
I mean, I wonder if Kyle's feeling used.
Yeah. I mean, I would.
Yeah, because Morgan was not a household name. The America learned of Morgan Wade. Maybe in she's even in country, she wasn't like, it wasn't like, who's that other guy, Morgan Wallen or whatever. Yeah. I get them confused.
I did too.
Names are so similar. Anytime I see a headline about that guy, I'm like, wow, Kyle's girlfriend's really come a long way. But no, I mean, Kyle platformed her.
Yeah, I mean, she put Kyle in her music video like for a reason, and then. It's just, I don't know. I just find it.
Look at what Kyle was buying her. Remember those shopping trips that were photographed? Rodeo. We're talking like Louis Vuitton sneakers. I mean, all kinds of things. That girl was not.
And let's get real here too. Kyle had a lot more to lose than Morgan did. Because this is a woman who's identified as heterosexual for 50 years. And now, her sexuality is being brought out on the television for all of America to speculate, which is a lot. And I think it's fine that she doesn't label her sexuality. I don't think we need to do that. Like, being open. I think we should all be able, like, honestly, like, I'm heterosexual, but at the same time, I don't close myself off. If I fell in love with a woman, I fall in love with a woman. Like, I leave myself open to that. But
I was going to say, Kyle would be a good one. Think about that.
She'll buy me a Birkin.
Those shopping trips, we should go back and like just Google Getty Image or whatever, backgrid it to see all, because those were expensive gifts she was buying her. Do you think maybe Kyle was a conquest for Morgan?
That's another thing that I think. Like, I kind of didn't want to be that mean, but like, I have another friend, and she loved to go after straight girls or bi girls, and like really like, and she was just a toxic person. I think no matter what, like no matter whether she was gay or straight, she was a toxic. She would have gone after guys, and if she was straight, she would have gone after guys in relationships. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's just like kind of that toxic person that as soon as like she kind of conquered that, she could. So Morgan could have been that too. She'd been like, you know what? I'm going to get this rich married woman. Like,
yeah.
So that's
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe it was a fetish or whatever, a turn on.
yeah. No, I don't
The,
know.
the Kyle's line that cracked me up though, it's like I could go for Brad or I could go for Angelina. I'm like, did Brad? I just felt like I totally get it, but I was like kind of like, are you like implying? Because sometimes you do see Kyle at big events, like Power Women or like the THR. What's that called? Hollywood Reporter, Variety.
Yeah.
Those big Hollywood lunches.
Mm-hmm.
And when I
Yeah.
say big Hollywood, I don't mean reality TV. I'm like, how did that housewife get in there with Nicole, like a luncheon with Nicole Kidman?
Yeah.
I'm like, Kyle, are you kind of like slightly name dropping, implying that Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie know who you are?
So
That's a stretch. She's like the biggest housewife, but
Yeah.
Brad and Angelina are not watching the Housewives.
I get a daily email from the Hollywood Reporter, and it's called the Hollywood Daily, and it just says HWD. And I swear to God, and I've been getting it for years, but I see it and I think Housewives Daily.
Oh yeah.
And I'm kind of disappointed that it's just Hollywood stuff.
Yeah, these Hollywood stars. So like I remember once I was scrolling Instagram and Kyle had took a picture. She was at Courtney Cox's beach house in Malibu, like her birthday party. I was like, I was like, no offense to Kyle, how did she get invited to that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just mean, they tend not, like, movie stars are movie stars, reality TV. Beverly Hills and say the Kardashians or whatever, they're the fanciest form of the lowest. They're the fanciest versions of the lowest form of entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that as someone who sucks up to the fanciest people in the lower. No, I'm just saying, Nicole Kidman's not going to make a cameo on Bravo, things like that.
Not yet, at least. Yeah. Not yet, but that could change. That
could change. Housewives of Nashville,
mm-hmm.
That Keith Urban divorce is coming. No, but you know what I mean. It's like it's a different part of Hollywood, a different world of Hollywood.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of Kyle and like old things, we go to Kyle's old house, which is now Amanda's new house. And they show like at first they're showing like Kyle's old house, the exterior, and then they like do a little fade like and to show like the changes and stuff like that. And I actually saw on YouTube Bravo posted basically almost like an architectural digest like thing of like, come with me and look at my new house. And so it was a walkthrough of all the changes that Amanda had done to this house. And I sent it to you and I was like, oh my God, I have so many opinions about this house. We basically could do a bonus episode about it because and it's not even about them tearing up the floor, and a lot of people got upset about that. It's just basically that of course that house needed some updating and that's fine, but they seem to have removed all the charm from what that house was and they made it look like Dorit's inside. Like go buy a new build in Studio City if you want that like modern farmhouse look. Like you took all the charm out of it. And I mean, it's just you took a traditional mid-century build from California and like turned it into millennial gray.
Yeah. It is not the best house.
No. It's so boring. It looks like every other thing out there. And I'm just grown out.
You know who decorated Kyle's house? When it was Kyle's, who decorated it for Kyle?
Kathy?
No, but I see why the black and white marble floors that Amanda smashed. Close. The morally corrupt Faye Resnick. She's an interior designer.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Like what Kyle has done. I mean, we were talking about this, that house in Bel Air. I always felt it was kind of like a transitional house to like the house that they now have in Encino. Like that was not a forever home for her. Like it's a weird house. Like we were talking about it. It's like the setup is kind of weird and everything like that. And it definitely needed updating. And I never liked the backyard and stuff. But so her house in Encino now I think is an incredible house. It's a great house. That's
like an estate.
It is.
House, it's like 2 acres, a proper mansion, driveway, estate with the now Amanda's house. It was kind of like a spacious regular house that over the years got added on to to make it bigger and feel mansionish.
Yeah.
But it was never, it didn't fit the neighborhood. It's
Mm-hmm.
not the same. Obviously Bel Air is Bel Air, but it's not the same area of, say, Kathy's Bel Air.
No.
It's smaller homes, hillside, a little less expensive is what I'm trying to say. So yeah.
Yeah.
I think Amanda and Kyle at the time both just want that Bel Air address, but it's not the same.
And that's fine. That's understandable. But I don't think that, like, and I could be wrong, but I don't think that Kyle and Mo put the money into like updating that house as much as they want it, as much as that they maybe as basically as much as like Amanda and Eddie did, because Kyle and Mo knew that they would be buying something else in the next few years that would be bigger. And they would be like, you know what, this is, we'll just do some cosmetic things to do this type of stuff instead of like really gutting a lot of it and doing that and just putting up just, in my opinion, like cheap crap.
Yeah.
Whatever. I like the way that Kyle has decorated her current home. I think it's a little, granted, I think the best decorated home I think is still Bose's, because there's a lot of color in it. It's like it's very interesting. I don't know if I would do that, but I think it's just a very interesting home to look at and it's fun to be in. So
yeah,
that's my opinion. Anyway, but you know, that scene though with Amanda at her house, that was more about like meet my family, meet me a little bit more, being from Oklahoma. But
can we talk about something with that?
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about something with that? I'm waiting for Amanda to throw a $60,000 birthday party for her 4-year-old. Why, you ask? Because hearing about a girl from Oklahoma who's on here talking about empowerment and manifesting this lavish life in Beverly Hills took me straight back to Taylor Armstrong season 1.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
I remember she was from Oklahoma. Why do we know? She threatened Kim, I'm going to go take you outside and go Oklahoma on your ass. So I was like, I'm seeing it all.
Yep.
Jennifer Pedranzi's from Oklahoma too.
Yep. God.
But yeah.
I've never, there's so many Texans out here. Why are they putting so many Oklahomans on these shows?
Oklahoma produces a lot. Kristen Chenoweth's from Oklahoma too.
That's true.
And look who she's playing, the Queen of Versailles. I mean, these Oklahoma
not much
women,
longer.
but these Oklahoma women really know how to.
They're scrappy.
Well, there's oil money there. They're smart, I guess. But yeah, no, it really, because I still don't fully understand. I'm a little bit on Bose's side. I don't fully understand Amanda and her business and her who she is, what she does.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah,
when we get to that. I do want to talk about like Sutton visiting Rachel real quick, because what was more fun for me in that, oh, did I get rid of it? No, it's here somewhere. We were talking about because Sutton visits Rachel, and it was so funny because Sutton's like, I love White Houses, and Rachel does too. And I was like, all the cast members have White Houses. Like they all have White Houses.
My theory, Sutton will absolutely suck up to Rachel, because remember, Sutton does wear very expensive clothes. She has given us those little sneak peeks to going to Italy with Dolce and Gabbana, the actual people, the Met Gala she's referenced. She did attend. So for that reason, I think she's going to suck up to Rachel, who is real, like fashion, you know. Sutton's a rich woman who buys expensive clothes.
And
Rachel's
they're both
a
friends.
tastemaker.
And they're both friends with Kathy. Like they both are friends with Kathy. So definitely.
Oh yeah. I just want to tell you guys that wine that Sutton brought Rachel.
That's what I want to talk about.
That's Kathy's favorite. Yeah. That's Kathy's favorite one. I recognize the bottle immediately. When I'm watching these shows, but also in real life if I know the person. But especially when I'm watching the shows before before I entered all their lives, no, I always made mental notes of like what
Mhm.
they like to drink. I know you could like tell, like I always remembered, say, Brandy Glanville, like Whispering Angel. I knew that from the show. So like, you're bringing a hostess gift, whatever. And as soon as Sutton walked in with that wine for Rachel, I knew the bottle. That's Kathy's preferred white wine. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
it's a little funny.
I mean, I also think it's nice to see a French wine like being shown, and it's it's a nice Chardonnay. Basically, it's a French Chardonnay. I mean, they just call it a white wine, but it's a Chardonnay.
It's the name. It's I pardon my peasant pronunciation. It's Jadot Puily Foussé.
Yes, Louis Jadot Puy-Fossé.
Yeah, and there are 2 Louis Jadots in the grocery store if you go. This one is the upper shelf one. There's one like half the price. So.
Yeah.
Like one's a Chablis, one's a Puily Fou. I don't know this stuff.
Puy
I drink
Fossé.
whatever has alcohol content. I'm not picky.
It's it's a decent, it's like you can get it anywhere between like $25 to like $35 and stuff like that. It's not bad, but they make a different ranges of it, Louis Jadot, and but like on Total Wine, the most expensive though, Louis Jadot is a Chardonnay. It's a Louis Jadot Bateau Montrachet Grand Cru 2023, and that is for $859.99. But hey, at Total Wine, you can mix 6 for $773.99 each. So that's a deal.
A bargain.
But yeah, but it's a very nice, like, and you know what? I have to say, I like that Kathy likes a Chardonnay as opposed to everybody loving a fucking Sauvignon
She likes
Blanc.
a French wine, yeah. It's like, because you said French earlier, she prefers French wine.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I always keep mental notes. I make a mental note, everything. It doesn't have to be alcohol either. It could be that I notice a housewife having gummies on her show, or what her favorite dessert was. Just, it's useful.
Just these little things.
On my mission.
Mm-hmm.
Now I wonder what Heather Duprat. No!
Oh.
Like,
You've been taking notes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually.
Real quick though, the fact that when they're talking about Sutton's last name, the annulment, maybe changing it back to her maiden name, I found it very interesting in her confessional when she said that she always felt that maybe she could get Christian back until the annulment. I was like, oh girl.
Oh, that's sad.
It really was sad. And to be honest with you, I feel like it explained and has explained so much of her behavior over the last few years, or at least since we've met her on this show. Basically, I feel like all of the things that she has been doing have been to try to get him back, to try to get his attention. And now she finally realizes it's not happening. And that's
Do you
huge.
think that's where, because we know there were times where it would be like, she can't do this or say this, she doesn't want to address this because of Christian. At first, it was always kind of like we thought, God, he must be a monster. Like, basically, what are the legal threats he's issuing that she wants to avoid it? But do you think she was actually taking it upon herself, thinking, I don't want to upset him because I want him back?
I think it's a combination of the two, because also like the kids couldn't be on the show because they weren't 18. Like he did that, which I actually don't think is a bad thing, but I think he probably made it harder for her though too. And I think it was probably a combination, but I do think it was like, well, if I just play nice and be the good Southern girl, and like maybe things will work out. Maybe he'll realize that he made a mistake. No, honey, he did make a mistake, but he doesn't care.
That annulment, the only reason for that annulment, I'll say it again, is because he wants to remarry.
Exactly.
That's the only.
Whether or not he has somebody right now, or it's like in the future, he's like, I want it, or to be an asshole and be like, or maybe he thought that like she thinks I want her back someday, and this will at least put the death nail in the coffin. But I do think he wants to get married again.
Yeah, it was in, I think, an interview, maybe with like Jeff Lewis, one of those. She mentioned he has someone or something. She said, I have to keep an eye on the finances because obviously her kids are his heirs. She needs to make sure it stays that. She needs to like kind of Camille Grammer. He's Kelsey. She needs to make sure she,
Yep. Yeah.
All that money's there for her kids. She was funny though. This is how I took it. When she was like, she's a little scared. He's going to remarry one day and he has all these homes around the world. He's going to be like the rich, cool grandpa. And she'll be Grandma Brown with her 4 dogs and 17 cats. And I was like, he's going to be cool and she's going to be Grandma Grey Gardens.
Only if she chooses to be. There you
Yeah.
go. Kyle and Alexia look for her wedding flowers. I don't really care that much about that at all.
Yeah. Only thing I will say, I was really surprised. The florist was called Orchid Republic, and all those people use this other one called Mark's Gardens.
Oh yeah.
The Kardashians use it. I've seen the deliveries at like Kathy's and stuff. I mean, like it is. So I just assumed walking in, I was like, wait, that's not it. But of course, you get a deal. You get a deal for filming. Whoever provides, you take.
They probably just only filmed there.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know what we
can
could
find
do? Go to the article or
Yeah.
her post. We'll look it up.
Yeah, we'll look it up. But yeah.
But Mark's Gardens is the one they always use. I was really surprised by that.
Like we said, they already planned all this stuff out. This is just for filming. Like,
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Like, yeah. Like she was on top of this stuff already. Okay, so let's get to the meat of this in this last little bit. Boz, Amanda, and Dorit meet for lunch. One thing real quick, I did notice because Boz got there first, and was sitting down. But when Amanda got there, she didn't even try to like hug Boz hello, like give her like courteous, like hi, like give her a little hug. Boz didn't try to get up. That's fine if Boz didn't try to get up, like, you know what I mean? But like usually there's like a little, like you go over, give a little like kiss or little hug or whatever. She didn't even try to do that. But when like Dorit arrived, Dorit like went around and like hugged everybody and then sat down. I was like, why didn't Amanda do that? You know, because then when Amanda's like telling Dorit, like, I was thinking about you, I was sending you good vibes, I was praying for you, I was like, I don't feel like you did. Like, you're somebody who won't even like hug somebody when you come into like, I don't really think, I think you're lying here, to be honest with you. I was like, I don't believe it. That's just me.
So Amanda admits she has no business experience or corporate experience or education. She did say she has a master's in counseling.
Yes.
So that's like an not an MSW, that's social work. But she's like a licensed therapist-ish.
Yeah, she's a licensed family counselor, I believe.
Yeah.
Like she could be a social worker, like that type of thing. But she's not even, she doesn't even like, she's not like a, I think even, I'd have to check with my friends who are therapists. I don't even think she's technically like a therapist in that sense.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. Because I don't have a master's degree. So there we go.
Yeah. I'm like, and there are all kinds of like different ways you could be a therapist, like a social worker or this. She's not a psychologist. That's different.
Yes.
And then of course a psychiatrist is a medical med school, the one issuing you your triplicate drugs like Adderall.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah.
And they're great. So she's a therapist ish and
a life coach.
Oh God, red flag. Another
exactly.
one. Let's get back into this one isn't Taylor Armstrong. This is giving flashbacks to Teddy Mellencamp.
Yes.
Accountability coach.
And she became an influencer.
Coach. Yeah.
And she became an influencer. And then she taught courses around the energetic part of money. And she at least is like, she does say, I don't teach the practical stuff. I'm not a financial advisor. I was like, yes, you need to say that for legal reasons.
Right. She goes into how what she's trying to help women with is the mindset about money, their relationship with money, the psychology behind their relationship with money. In that sense, I get, at least she was upfront about it. And I get it. There are like, I get anxious about certain things. I'm not signing up for a course, but I mean, it's so vague. So go buy that. Like, is this some kind of like, is she one of those like, what were they called? Girl bosses? This is a little bit more like she's one of those like girl bosses, probably has one of those neon signs in her stark white home office. Like, get it, you know.
Yep. this is, I mean, granted, I have not looked up her business model at all or looked into her courses because I think I'm afraid that even if I just go onto her website, somehow it'll grab my email address and like start sending me shit. But it makes me think back to like when I was getting like 15 years ago, I started taking my hobby of photography and trying to make it into a business. And I would take and this was back when there were tons of blogs and like photography blogs. And there were a bunch of like photographers that I really enjoyed and they would teach classes. And I was like, oh, cool. So I would like go to their classes. And then I started to realize though, that a lot of these photographers, especially like wedding photographers, they did more classes than they did actual like weddings and stuff. So they were like, that became their model of like teaching courses and classes more. And then it started to become, I started to notice this both with them and like astrology and like tarot and like all these other things. Then it starts to become more about you take a course in order to learn how to teach these courses. And it's this new version of basically like an MLM.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, is that what she's doing? And I don't know because I have not looked it up, but for me, that's the feeling that I get. And so that my antenna goes up and goes ding, 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 ding.
I always think there's a phrase, those who can do, those who can't teach. So like say those people who do those real estate courses, you see them on Instagram just like her, but like, here's how I turned $5 into 75 apartment buildings. Well, if you're that good at it, you would be busy doing that instead of selling your business to other people. Like you'd be out there juggling $10 million buildings instead of selling me your like $400 course. So
yeah. And look, get your bag. We all have to make money somehow. You figured out a way to like be a good influencer and like parlay that. I guess I'm like, okay, but I also guess it feels icky to me. Like it's just another way of like, to me, it doesn't feel like true financial empowerment because I also feel that you're always going to be upselling somebody of like, oh, you want to take your financial freedom to another level, take this other course. Yeah. Oh, and then take this other course and then buy my other book and then do this and do that. And I'm kind of like Bose of like, what? Huh?
Oh, yeah. I have a fun one about that. So we should mention Amanda came on our Instagram and left a rude comment because last week we shared that I had witnessed her using paparazzi she hired to take her photo.
Yes.
And so she would look like a star.
Right. And this is the thing. In the promo, I will admit that I just grabbed a picture from Getty Images of her because I didn't know what event you were talking about. There's different ones, but I picked a good photo of her. I picked a good photo of her with a friend, but it is on Getty Images. It is on Getty Images. So that means that.
Yeah.
She does not own this photo.
Right. And this wasn't when I saw this, when I witnessed this happen, the photographer said it wasn't the first time. This has been an ongoing relationship. She'd been doing it for a while. So, I just also want to say, because of what you were talking about, I don't even think we follow her on Instagram. No. But when feeds, overlaps, algorithms, it came up in ours, and it was a collab post, meaning this wasn't like, oh, she shared it to story, what an adoring fan. One of her students did a post that was about how you guys, viewers, might be questioning it, but here's all she did for me. It was like an infomercial for Amanda's course, and like, it's a collab post. That means Amanda it was coordinated. You know what I mean? This was not an organic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why, once again, I'm saying I don't know a lot about him. Oh, something else. Funsies. Fun fact. I overheard her at the holiday party, and she also said she lives in Newport Beach.
Okay.
That just popped in my head. So I'm sorry, guys. You are live right now inside my head as things connect. She said she also lived in Newport Beach. And I have my own personal theory that she bought Kyle's house and obviously hired photographers. She's been chasing housewives for a long
Yeah,
time.
we talked about that last week.
Do you think OC was her other?
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That just hit me. I don't know. I don't know where she lives in Newport, I just remembered it popped in my head. I remember her saying she lives in Newport as well.
Well, in the package with her at her house, and she was talking about daddy's got to go do some stuff for Disney or down to Disney. So it sounds like, you know, he's in construction, some type of construction, and obviously Disney is a client of his. But it sounded like it wasn't like, oh, he's going to do work at Disney Studios. It sounds like he's going to go do some work down at Disneyland.
Yeah.
So
now we need to look in see what our house in Newport Beach is like.
Mm-hmm.
These are my theories, because I wonder if she's been I wonder if she tried out for OC before she tried out for Beverly Hills. My theory so far is that she chased Housewives for a very long time, and that's my theory. I don't know.
Yeah.
All the dots are connecting for me, and I was like, because do you remember when Teddy Mellencamp has a beach house in Orange County, and she had said in an interview that she was considering either OC or Beverly Hills, and I'm seeing patterns with this girl. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I could put out some feelers too to some of my coworkers as well. You know,
yeah, see if she applied or whatever, because I'm like, I just remember that. I don't know how much she lives in LA. We'll get to the bottom of it.
I mean, we'll see. Well, I mean, she did say that she met her husband or fiance while walking in West Hollywood or whatever. I mean, it does seem like she lived in West Hollywood or lived in LA. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Like, I think she lives in Southern California, but I wouldn't be surprised if she was like chasing this because she's been an influencer. She's been an influencer, because this is the way I like looked at her social media when I glanced at it. I was like, this is, it's very girl bossy. This is very much like, I'm trying to like get this stuff.
Yeah.
This is what I want. This is what I'm putting. Like, when she's like, and my clients are like, of course, you know, Amanda would manifest an entire family.
Yeah. It was kind of cruel too that she said how great his ring was, but she didn't show it. And that's why I'm probably so angry. I wanted to see it.
Yeah, you wanted to see it. You wanted to see it up close.
Up. I don't need to see the rafters and the tile work. Let me see the rock.
Oh. Well, you know, it's funny because Dorit admits that she didn't know what to make of Amanda first, and I really feel like she's going to realize that that first impression was correct, probably. But when they're talking and Dorit's like, you know, Dorit's explaining to Amanda basically the backstory about like PK and his finances and losing his business in 2008, and they had no prenup because he basically had no money and he handled all the finances, and that she was blindsided by PK not paying, all of a sudden not paying for things. It was interesting, you know, Amanda asking about retirement accounts and investments, and Dorit doesn't have any knowledge of them, and Amanda calls Dorit out for having turned a blind eye for a long time, to not know anything about these things. And of course, Dorit uses this phrase again, which she's used before. She's like, my husband is a complex person. I'm like, no, he's not, Dorit. He's not a complex person. He's a shyster. That's what he is. Like, he's not a complex person. He is a person who is trying to hide stuff. We've talked about this for years, that he has shady financial dealings, and it's perfect proof is that he puts your name on everything. If there's nothing to hide, it's not like you're using a trust or an LLC. That's completely different, and that's a different way to like save money on taxes. But when you're putting your properties and things just in one person's name, in your wife's name, not in your name, even though you're using your money to pay for it, you're trying to hide something.
Right. Run from creditors, run from etc. Shield assets, like that kind of a thing.
Yeah. So
mean,
when Bose asks Amanda, like, and I had to write this down, what can Dorit do proactively to protect herself, knowing all these unknowns and like help the situation? Okay, this is what Amanda says, and I had to write this down. She says, I think you have to decide what you want, what you're creating, and like who you're going to be. I know it's a big overarching question, but who do you want to be as a provider? Who do you want to be as a woman who earns? Who do you want to be as a woman who has been screwed over and now has to fill in the gaps? Like, who are you going to be no matter what he does? And I was like, huh? Huh? And Bose had the same reaction that I did, and you did. It was like, what is this frou-frou mess that we're talking about? Like,
I know. And like Amanda there was giving her that manifest, that MLM, whatever class she's selling, that kind of a thing, manifest your financial independence. But that's not only is that not what she needed, but as someone who has built a big business, supposedly, around this,
right.
give her business advice. Okay,
Right.
like don't be the teacher here, be the behind your business.
Right.
You know, how you built yours, not
Yeah.
light
I
a
mean,
candle. This was like Sonia Morgan and her abundance candle.
thank you. And look, and I have an abundance candle actually burning right behind me right now. And I love an abundance candle. Like, I love it. But at the same time, like, when I had no money and tons of debt, I wasn't burning a fucking abundance candle. You know what I did? I had to get my head out of the sand, and I had to actually go, and I had to stop being afraid of my money. And I totally get it. I totally get the whole energy around stuff. And like, especially as women and women in the US, you know, it's like, oh, the man's supposed to take care of the money. But then once you're in this position, you realize you've been lied to, not only by your husband, but by society, and that you need to take control of your finances. So that's something that would actually be better advice, what I just said. Like, to say to Dorit, you know what? You have a lawyer now, and I'm not a financial advisor, but I would advise you to get a forensic accountant to start going through things. That would be the number one thing. Talk to your lawyer and have him suggest some forensic accountants to start going through this. And then second of all, get your own accountant. You have a new business manager. Is that what you're saying, Dorit? Yes, that's what I'm saying. Then you guys need to go through your accounts and see where you need to spend, like how to spend your money. And those are the two things that I would suggest right off the bat, because you need to start to budget. You need to start a budget for yourself, Dorit, and your family, just with what you have right now. And then you need to find out where all of his money is. There you go, Dorit. I've just given you the best financial advice, better than Amanda could. And this is just from somebody who has been in debt and like lost everything and then had to get it back again. And you know, but like this whole thing, like, who do you want to be? Who do you want to decide? That's great. But that's for somebody who has the luxury of time. And when you're losing money hand over fist in a divorce or like whatever, like, you don't have that time to create a vision board.
We also, I mean, my theory too is that what if Dorita is actually the breadwinner? Like you said, she hasn't done forensic accounting yet. She hasn't done forensic accounting. PK seems to have been in a lot of smoke and mirror situations. We don't know what he's doing when he's always off on business. I know the house, like, she finally acknowledged that the house was teetering on foreclosure before, remember, before she gave some excuse like, oh, that's just how PK renegotiates interest rates. Now she was like, no, we were all teetering on foreclosure. I just, for Dorit's sake, I hope there is money to go after and that it's not her own, because Beverly Hills may be all she has.
And I think we talked about that last season, that we felt that she was probably the breadwinner, and she probably does not realize that. And that is the problem. It is time at 49 years old for her to realize, like, for her to finally like put on her financial big girl pants. And it's not too late. 49 is not too late to do that. Like her and Jen Pedranti are kind of like in similar positions in that sense.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Amanda, I'm just like, no, that's the lamest. That was the lamest advice that also kind of felt like, is she trying to maybe sell the audience on what she is selling? Do you know what I mean?
Right. No, she used that
here's
moment to try to like advertise her product.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
wonder how many people. I wonder how many people. Maybe you guys could DM us or whatever, or comment. How many people have been sold on her product as viewers, and how many are like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
Are you inspired by her, or are you creeped
Yeah.
out by her?
Because honestly, like I'm not. What am I trying to say? I'm not hating on her just to hate on her. I'm basically waving a red flag because I have been a person who has bought a product like hers when I did not have the money to buy a product like hers, hoping that it would help me. And then have turned around and felt that I didn't try hard enough. Do you know what I mean? That I wasn't trying hard enough to manifest, that I wasn't right. And but then being told that I needed to buy something else, and then da 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 da. And then realizing eventually that I was basically kind of conned into not doing, whereas like I just really should have found a good budget and found a way to like that when I actually just looked at my financials that and just started doing the hard work, that it actually was easier than I thought it was. And that's what actually a financial advisor can do for you, or an accountant can do for you, when you find the right person that you mess with. And I do recognize that I am saying this without having taken one of her courses or having read them, but I kind of know what this game is. I've seen it so many times before. So that's my opinion. I'm not saying calling Amanda a con artist or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of people like her. There's a lot of people like that out there in every type of industry, whether it's financial stuff or beauty or influencing or whatever industry, music, acting, like so many. But yeah, a lot of stuff you can find on YouTube University. I'm just just saying. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, I don't know. I don't remember what comes next week. So, there is no next week on our end. But I mean, they gave a little preview. I don't know.
I didn't.
Kathy's back. I saw that in the preview.
Oh, you know what it was? It was the one thing I do remember was basically lunching at Kathy's. Kathy, Amanda, and Sutton at least. And Amanda says something like, I basically like, I got Erica with that one. And Sutton says, don't you ever think that you got Erica.
We know where this is going. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Or what? Or what?
Or what? You know what? You should subscribe. Hit like, follow, give us 5 stars, tell your friends and family about us. Tell Santa about us. Mrs. Claus would really enjoy it.
Nice or correct. Naughty, doesn't matter.
We're always
the only
naughty.
Gift we ask for. You don't even have to wrap it. Just hit subscribe. Tell your elves. Tell your... Well...
Tell everybody. Yeah.
Wait, are we going to be back before New Year's?
I don't think so. So I guess we'll see everybody in 2026.
Reliable.
Yeah, exactly.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
See you in 2026.